You're looking at me, and you see a success story. Millionaire at 85, penthouse view, money in the bank. But you want to know what I see when I look out that window every morning? I see a park bench. 3 years of my life. A cardboard sign that read, Vietnam vet, anything helps. I see my daughter's car drive past me, twice, while I was holding that sign. My name is Harold. And I need to tell you something. They don't put in motivational speeches. Sometimes losing everything is the only way to find out what you're actually worth. Not to your kids, not to your family, to yourself. And I didn't learn that in my house. I didn't learn it in my chair. I learned it on the streets, freezing, hungry, invisible. This is not a feel-good story. This is a feel-everything story. And by the end, you're either going to get up out of your chair, or you're going to realize you've been sitting in one your whole life without knowing it. I wasn't always rich. I wasn't always poor either. I was normal, middle class, mortgage, 2 cars. A lawn I mowed every Saturday. I gave those kids everything. Not luxuries, everything. I gave them my back. It's a map of scars now from years of overtime. Shifts so they could have Christmas mornings I couldn't afford. I gave them my knees, ground to powder from kneeling to pray for them every night. For their futures. For their happiness. I gave them my dreams. I wanted to open a small repair shop, fix watches, clocks, things that needed patience. But that would have taken time away from them. So I buried it. And when my wife died, they buried me too, just slower. Sarah stopped calling first. Then Michael. At first it was weeks, then months, then nothing. I kept the house for 3 years after she passed, alone, talking to her photo, waiting. Then the money ran out. You know what's worse than being alone in a house? Being alone outside that house, with nothing. I sold everything, furniture, tools, her jewelry. Michael's baseball trophies, $3 at a garage sale. Sarah's dance recital videos. The landfill took those for free. Within 6 months, I was on a bench. With a sign, February 14th, coldest night in 40 years. Temperature dropped to 9 degrees. I was behind a dumpster. Cardboard underneath me. Cardboard on top. Shaking so hard I couldn't feel my fingers. And then, headlights. A car pulled into the alley. Slow, I thought, security. Gonna move me along. The window rolled down. Heater inside. I could feel it from 10 feet away. It was Michael, my son, parked 20 feet from me, on his phone, laughing at something. He was picking up takeout from the restaurant behind that dumpster. I opened my mouth. Nothing came out. He sat there for 5 minutes. Engine running. Heat on full blast. Then he drove away. He never saw me, or he didn't want to see me. I'll never know which. But something happened that night. Something that didn't kill me. Because something was already dead. The hope died. And in its place, something else woke up. Next morning, still freezing. Still hungry. But I found this in the trash behind a jewelry store. Broken, thrown away. A small pocket watch. I used to fix watches. Remember that dream I buried? I found a pair of glasses in another trash can. One lens cracked. The other usable. I sat on that bench with frozen fingers, and I fixed that watch. Took me 4 hours. My hands were shaking from cold. But I did it. I walked into that jewelry store. Put the watch on the counter. The owner, guy named Mr. Chen, looked at it. Looked at me. Looked at my cardboard sign. He said, "You fixed this?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Look, come back tomorrow. I have more." He paid me $20 for that watch. First money I'd earned with my hands in 30 years. I didn't spend it on food. I spent it on a bus pass to get to the library, to use their computer. That was the moment, not the millions, not the penthouse. That $20 bus pass was the moment I stopped being a victim. For 2 years, I lived in a shelter, and every day I went to the library. I learned to sell on eBay. I learned to spot valuable watches at thrift stores. I learned that people throw away incredible things, things that just need fixing, just need patience, just need someone who still believes in slow. Mr. Chen gave me more work. Then other shop owners. Then collectors started calling. Here's what nobody tells you about hitting rock bottom. When you're invisible, you can work without anyone watching. My kids didn't know I was building something. The world didn't know. I was just that homeless guy to everyone who passed. But every night in that shelter, I was building, repairing, learning, growing a business from a trash can and a library card. 3 years after that night behind the dumpster, I bought my first apartment, cash, $127,000 from fixing things other people threw away. 2 years after that, I bought the building where Mr. Chen's shop was. He retired. I gave him a pension. 5 years after the dumpster, I sold my business, 7 figures. And then the phone rang. Michael, first time in 8 years. Dad? Silence on my end. Dad, I saw something online about a watch company with your name. Is that you? I didn't answer right away. I looked at that phone, this little object that had tortured me for years, this thing I'd begged to ring. And you know what I felt? Nothing. Yes, Michael, it's me. Long pause. Then, Dad, I hung up. He called again, 7 times that week. Left messages, crying, apologizing, telling me about grandchildren I'd never met, asking for help, asking for money, asking for something. I never called back. You think I'm cruel? Maybe. But here's what I learned on that bench, behind that dumpster, in that shelter. Love is not a debt. It is not owed. It is not something you can demand because you made someone. That was my choice, my privilege, my joy. They gave me nothing. That was their choice, their loss. If I took Michael back now, what would I be teaching him? That abandonment has no consequences, that you can ignore your father for 8 years, leave him to freeze behind a dumpster, and then show up when there's money. No, I'm not sitting in that chair anymore. Not the physical one, not the emotional one, not the one where I wait for someone else to validate my existence. I built my worth with my own hands, on a bench, in the cold, with nothing but a broken watch and a library card. And nobody, not my son, not my daughter, not guilt, not loneliness, nobody gets to take that from me. So here's what I need you to hear. Whether you're 25 or 85, whether your kids call or don't, whether you have millions or nothing, your worth is not in their hands. It never was. You just forgot. That chair you're sitting in, the one where you wait for the phone to ring, the door to open, the love to return, that chair is a coffin with cushions. Get out of it. Not for them, for you. I didn't become a millionaire to spite my children. I became a millionaire because I finally stopped measuring my life by their attention. I look out at this city now, and I see that bench sometimes, that alley, that dumpster, and I thank God for it. Because losing everything taught me what I was really made of. And it wasn't waiting. It wasn't hoping. It was doing. My kids never came back. Not really. Not in a way that matters. But I came back, and that was enough. This is Harold. I'm 86. I have a walk every morning at 10. I still fix watches for fun. And I sleep like a man who owes nothing to anyone. Get out of the chair.